Bender was 1979. It was a Sunday afternoon thing. Remember, Laura?
How the hell do you know that?
I'm good with dates.
I have been coming to the Bender for 25 years. 2 years before marriage, and then I've been married 23, and we've come every year with pregnant 1 year, babies, all the way up to young adults that I have now.
86 makes it 18 years. Yes. How old were you?
Since 1977. Originally, Dave invited me up when there was no other cottages that belonged to the Zeppers at that time. It was just Dad's place, Granddad's. And so actually, and it was a rainy day, unfortunately, so we just hung around the cottage. But maybe we should be doing this every year. It's almost just like our euchre tournament evolved. The same type of thing, because we've been running 27 years on that as well.
Since about 1972. It wasn't always the Bender. We used to come up after high school. So that was, early 70s. And then I don't know what year it actually got called the Bender. It was when Dave came back from Kitchener, I think. So I've been to every one. My kids, Tyler, he's 20. He's been to 20 Benders. And Sarah's been to 17. It's great.
23 and a half years.
That's all?
I don't know for sure.
Well, I'm 27.
I know. I can't really say. The first few Benders were not like this. They were David and a few of his buddies. So, I'm guessing 23.
6 or 7 years, I don't know exactly. It's been a while. My buddy Keith, my good buddy, Keith Campbell, lives back here with Joni and Mark. Neil and Allie, and they're good people.
I think it's probably been since 1981, really. The Bender's been going on before that with David, with his friends from high school, but 1981, when we got the cottages, that the Bender became this.
What is this?
Well, like a lot of people camping over on the other side, and it may have been going on before that, but that was my first year.
The first big one was that I remember that all the guys from Atkinson Florida come up was 82. Remember that?
That was awesome. Yeah.
That was when Lenny was yelling off, screaming and jumping over the fire.
Yeah. That was first lawn chair melt. That was totally acoustic, just around the campfire.
Well, there's photos in the cottage.
Yeah. That was awesome. Little fire though, none of this cauldron stuff, and much closer to Roy and Jean's. Didn't have the wires running across the river or anything. And how long?
28 years.
You've been to all the Benders?
Right from the start when there was, 20 people.
How did it start?
Oh, our friends were looking for a place to spend a weekend and drink and party, and we didn't have music then, first time.
It was your father's friends, because David started this. Yeah.
Bender 85, came back from Germany. Nigel invited me up to the Bender. And when I first saw Ken, they said that was Ken Moore. Only I didn't recognize Ken as Ken Moore because in high school Ken had his big full head of dark curly hair, and the guy that I met at the Bender was tall and chunky and starting a little silver here, way bigger than he used to. It used to be a rail.
It wasn't chunky till I got at your cooking.
Oh, so now I'm like, oh, get out of here. Not chunky, just, way bigger than he was anyway. So I looked at Ken and I thought, oh. And now I hadn't been seeing anybody in summer, so I thought, well, there's prospects here. So I basically flirted with Ken at the Bender that weekend, but he was already with a girl, so I didn't want to horn in too early, but I was making myself obvious, I think. And,
God, how many years is this? That's a good question. I wasn't ready for that one. I think it's got to be 27 or 28, somewhere in there.
Now, the first year, I think I probably would have come in about 86 or something like that. I think the first one
Mine was 89, I think. 89, 89.
That's when I stopped coming.
That's right. The year I came up, yeah, you weren't here.
I wasn't
that's
here,
right.
and then never came back until
Phil
'97.
Phil Cruden took your place, and you were sorely missed.
So basically nothing happened at the Bender other than that I flirted, and I guess he tried to ditch this Gail girl all weekend because he wanted to get together with me, but he wasn't able to. And then I asked Dave for Ken's phone number after the Bender, and I phoned him up, and we went out for a drink, and it's been ever since then, right? Is that the way you told the story?
Yep. That's it.
4 years I have.
4 years?
Yeah. Are we on? Are we rolling? Oh! These things.
19, Katie?
I've been here 11.
This is my 11. Oh, me 19, I guess. Or 18.
I've been coming to the Bender since 1997. So this is my 8th year.
This is just my second time.
How long have I been coming to the Bender? Well, that's kind of hard to describe because I was gone for about 9 to 10 years. And I think around 86 is when I really started to start bending. Karen?
My first Bender was in 1991. It was, I guess, the year after Don and I had met that I got introduced to the whole thing. I'd heard about it all year and didn't let me down. It was a really good party. And I think I've only missed one since.
About 9 years right now. Andy?
9? I think it's 7, but you guys know.
22?
22?
23?
45.
How many years have you been coming up to the Bender?
I'm 24 years old. My name is Ross Campbell. I live at 590 Lisbon.
All right. And he's single. You can imagine it. He's single.
This is one of those single shows, eh?
Good for you. How many years have you been coming up, Adam?
I think it's 7, but nobody will agree with me.
If you guys got a flat tire, we got a spare one on the way home.
Right here.
It's okay.
My name's Killer B. Got over the weekend.
Killer B. Call her Bree, Brianna.
Interesting.
It's neat.
Well, you'll figure it out.
Oh, it's about a 2-week preparation. Pared down to now like almost only 2 days because now you have everything and we just pack up all our stuff. I've got my little list happening and all our Bender stuff goes in the top of the garage when we leave here and it comes out the next year. So everything's in place. Now each year we seem to acquire a new bit of equipment and so we have a lot of stuff to schlep up here, which is a pain in the ass.
I'm now a seasoned veteran, so starting at the beginning of the summer, I keep a box in the dining room, and I start throwing Bender things in as I go along. Do a grocery shop, throw some stuff in. And then just load stuff in the freezer, and then the morning of, just load up the freezer, load up the cooler, and away we go. But yeah, it's quite an organized. We've done it enough times that we've got it down almost to a routine.
Yesterday we started at 8 a.m. my honey bunny and Wednesday. And we finally left at 1. Just mass confusion. It was crazy. But then it just goes all in the trailer. See, I'm different in that I'm bringing up a trailer anyway, so you can stack that sucker pretty high, right? That's all good. Alcohol, you have to prepare the night before. You know what I mean?
Over the years, yeah, we had a 1985 Toyota up here, actually a little red one, and barely packed the stuff in there, but we decided we had to tent. So we got a nice cheap Canadian Tire tent. Unfortunately, it decided to rain all weekend. And that's when everybody got soaked, no matter what kind of tent you had. So we scrapped that tent idea from then on in and decided, well, since I don't have a van, I'll rent one. I'll just take a budget van, a cube type of van, and lay some foam in the back. That way it's a home away from home, off the ground, no insects, water, no water. And then maybe I should buy a van. It was just a progressional thing. And 12 years later, we had one Ford van, and now we've got this one that's been 10 years in the making. So.
Annie's great. She does all the packing. She likes to be organized. I basically show up. but I help out in other ways. No, she's great. She likes to she buys everything. You know? We got a great new bed today. This bender. Oh yeah, you should see it. It's great.
Go to the grocery store. I buy 2 pounds of beef. Buy a steak. I buy some food for the saute. Some chicken. Some eggs. I go to the beer store. And then I drive here straight after work.
How do I get ready for the bender? Well, I start usually at the end of June. This year, Keith and his friends came up and we put the walking bridge in, which takes about 4 or 5 hours of fairly concentrated effort. And then I usually have to fix something in the cottage to make it either like it was or better than it was, depending on what's happening. This year I put a hot water tank in. So now we have hot water running out of the tap, which allows us to clean up all the cuts and scrapes that people get more easily because we have the hot water accessible, ready.
My biggest chore? Getting some food. Yes. Getting something to drink. And getting something to smoke. That's it.
Oh, God.
One bag.
Bud! You're beat! I'm packing heat! What? I pull out heat?
It all starts with the drugstore. 3 things.
I've told you like a million times.
Condoms, lube. You don't use any of them.
Whoa,
but you buy them.
That's not getting on camera. You're an idiot.
It's the truth. Well, let's lie. You know what I do? I like to put my underwear. I like to iron it first. Got a couple pairs of socks. My favorite ones are the
Sometimes on Somerset, Paul irons his underwear. On Somerset, he puts out an ironing board in the middle of the street, irons it. He's like, oh, hey ladies, how are you?
about this
Oh,
big.
just ironing here.
It's about that wide. It's a little mini ironing board.
What's going on?
You put your beer in the trunk. You bring a sleeping bag, a tent, a pillow, and
One lesbian. Always make sure.
Food
check
that
off the lesbian.
90% food that doesn't need to be cooked, and sunscreen.
I'm camera shy, right?
Sunscreen.
I'm a little camera shy.
Sunscreen. Well, the Bender always has the best bands, the music.
I think there's tradition around Bender, and for me, Reggie, he's Bender. You know, he's the only time I hear him play is Bender, and it's every year.
Well, Reg is pretty famous in our minds, at least, in his mind for sure.
I mean, his popularity amongst, as I said earlier, everybody of all ages. Yeah, he's a bit of an icon, certainly.
Reg. Well, I have to say it's a tie between Rude Boy and Reg.
Rude Boy's pretty
Cannot
good,
pick
too,
a
though.
favorite.
Reg is the
Big
best,
tie.
but
Can't pick a favorite.
Rude Boy comes up, kills every time.
Yesterday was
Yeah.
pretty good.
times.
You can't pick a favorite. It's like saying
Reg
you like
every
guys
time.
or girls. Well,
Lesbian.
There's Gord and his T-shirts. I mean, you know, collector's items for some people. Everyone every year looks forward to what he's going to draw on the next T-shirt. And then there's, you know, Dave, of course, being the main organizer. So I think there's a lot of key people.
My favorite Bender activity?
You're looking at it.
Drinking, period. And I get coffee.
Drinking out of Dave's.
And finding your beer.
I like touring, talking to people.
Yes.
Morning, noon, and night.
And the music.
Listen to the
Always
music.
the music. Yeah.
Certainly. It's
And
great to have.
What's this
Great.
band's name? Bad Boy? No, Rude Boy. Yes. Yeah. So it's certainly evolved into a good group coming all the time.
No, it's excellent. Everything about it is 100%.
I can't remember what I did yesterday, so no, no, there was some great. We had a big storm one night. That was kind of neat. The wind was coming in from this way. It was lightning, and we put the flap down on the stage, and the guys were still playing. You know, there was lots of guitars, and it was just like you were in a little bar. And we were in there for a couple of hours. It was great.
I love taking money from Marty and Kenny Moore in Fine Euchre. I love that. Yeah.
The Bender is just, you gotta really you gotta take the camera and look around because the Bender is just everything. It's like the whole atmosphere and whatnot, but it's just a beautiful party where everything just happens and it comes together. And I don't think anyone leaves here having a bad time ever.